Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz went to Cheyenne, Wyoming to hold a rally and blast Liz Chaney over her vote to impeach Donald Trump. Liz Chaney is the wife of former Vice President Dick Cheney and one of only 10 Republicans in Congress to vote for the impeachment of Donald Trump, a move that many people, self included, are calling unconstitutional and ridiculous and politically motivated and basically revenge for Donald Trump beating Hillary Clinton. I mean, just to put this in perspective, the establishment has been looking to impeach Donald Trump since before he was actually inaugurated. So let's keep that in mind. They failed the first time. They'll likely fail this second time, but they wanted to send a message, and Liz Chaney was part of sending that message. Her popularity is falling very quickly. It is dwindling dramatically as her support amongst Republicans is waning. Look, when you turn on your president, when you turn on his voters, and when you seem to support the establishment that has been swinging and missing on public policy for the past several years, you're not going to be very popular very long. And that's what Matt Gaetz is out there to do. Gaetz has been growing in popularity. Gaetz is not from Wyoming, by the way. Gaetz is a Florida congressman of the GOP. So he went to a different congressperson's state to hold a rally to urge the voters of Wyoming to get her out. Get her out. And this is going on at the same time as there's a move in Congress to get her out of her leadership positions. Here, this is from later in the article. Cheney, the number 3 House Republican in leadership, has been pilloried by many of her GOP colleagues in the chamber for voting to impeach Trump. Cheney was one of only 10 Republicans who joined all 222 House Democrats in voting to impeach the president for inciting the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Something that he didn't actually do, by the way, and you can see how political this is by having unanimity amongst the Democrats. This is partisanship at its finest. So it says more than half of House Republican members are backing an effort to remove Cheney from her leadership position as House Republican Conference Chair. She's received tepid support from House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, the top Republican in the House. That support is going to be waning very quickly as Kevin McCarthy sees the tide and where it's going. So Gaetz has been making fun of Cheney, saying she spends more time at her house in Washington than in Wyoming. But this is the key here. He says, you have the power to defeat Liz Chaney in this upcoming election, and Wyoming will bring Washington to its knees. And he argued that a nation that sends its best to go fight in the worst places in the world should not send its worst to be representatives in the United States Congress. So he is coming at her from all angles. This is over the impeachment. This is also over her perceived ties to the establishment and the war machine. Remember, she's the wife of Dick Cheney, someone who is rather credibly accused of warmongering and profiteering in the wake of 9/11 in the reconstruction of the Middle East, which is a project that will never end and has a checkbook that is perpetually blank. So she is seen as part of that. Gaetz is actively trying to tie her to that. But don't worry. George Bush is coming to the rescue to endorse Liz Chaney. George Bush, one of the most popular presidents ever, is coming in to rescue Liz Chaney as Matt Gaetz is stirring a Wyoming revolt. It's fine, Liz. George, who has his finger directly on the pulse of the Republican Party, still is here to save the day and to thank her for her service. And no, I'm not kidding. George Bush is calling Dick Cheney to thank Liz Chaney for her vote to impeach Donald Trump. So there you go, guys. Is the swamp real? I don't know. Maybe. Why don't you let me know down in the comments what you think about all this, and we'll talk very soon. Have a good day. Peace. Peace.